Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 90th minute, the place where we take a deep dive into everything related to the footballing world analysis, tactics, transfers, and so much more. Today's topic is a big one. Why Liverpool are the favorites to win the Premier League next season? A bold statement? Maybe, but by the end of this video, you will see exactly why that might not be so far stretched. Let us dive in. Liverpool had a phenomenal season last year. They steamrolled the Premier League title race where nobody came close to them from start to finish. It was their second Premier League in the last 6 seasons. The last time they won was in 2020. It was when the whole world was caught in the COVID wave and they could not celebrate the way they wished for. But this season, we saw those celebrations finally after having won a Premier League title and having a Premier League parade after 35 years. We go back to the start of the previous season. Jurgen Klopp, one of the mighty figures at Anfield, one of the most successful manager in the history of Premier League, and the only guy who was able to halt this Pep Guardiola's Man City machine, had left the football club. The atmosphere around the club was not pleasant. Liverpool had been leading the Premier League table for some time in the Premier League that season, and everyone was expecting Liverpool to sign off the Jurgen Klopp era with a bang with major trophies, especially a Premier League trophy. But then Liverpool collapsed right from the month of April, and due to a very weak squad depth and a loss of morale, they collapsed in the Premier League title race. First, playing a 2-2 draw versus Man United at Old Trafford, then a 1-0 loss to Crystal Palace at Anfield, and then a 2-0 loss to Merseyside rivals Everton, providing a finishing blow to their title chances. In Europe, things were not better. Once a team that was expected to win the Europa League was knocked out of the Europa League after losing to Gasperini's Atlanta. The players looked completely out of steam, and the mood around Anfield was turning from joyous to disastrous. Jurgen Klopp and Mo Salah's argument at touchline during their 2-2 draw versus West Ham United in early May proved that this was not going to be the kind of finish of the Jurgen Klopp era they had hoped for. And then the season ended with Jurgen Klopp leaving. The clouds of uncertainty were all over Anfield. Everyone was expecting for Liverpool to have a collapse like Man United had after Sir Alex Ferguson left. They had valid reasons to do so. Their captain Virgil van Dijk was entering the last year of his contract, and their marquee player Mo Salah was also entering the last year of his contract, and their local boy Trent Alexander-Arnold was also entering the last year of his contract. And no one knew how long these guys would stay at Liverpool. Then came this bald man from the Netherlands. Sorry, we will not talk about this. We are talking about this one, Arne Slot. He was someone a lot of us did not knew him previously. Yes, he had a successful stint with Feyenoord, but the pressure at Liverpool was massive. First, the guy who was going to come in was filling in the shoes of Jurgen Klopp, who was one of the most successful manager in the Premier League, with three of their key players like Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, all entering in their final year of their contract, and Manchester City and Arsenal looking stronger than ever, and Liverpool only signing Federico Chiesa in the summer, who had spent majority of his last season on the injury bench. Arne Slot knew he had his work cut out at Liverpool this year. 1 year on, Liverpool have won a Premier League title, their second in the last 6 years, in a comfortable fashion. Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah both have signed new contracts at the club, meaning Liverpool would not lose the experience and quality of both these lads. If anyone would have predicted this scenario at the start of Arne Slot's tenure, one would have laughed it off, but it is true. Now, as important it is to get to the top, it is also more important to stay there. And it seems like the hierarchy at Anfield seems to know that, given the signings of Jerome Frimpong, Florian Wirtz. Liverpool next season would hope for a successful title defense, and for that, today we will discuss some of the signings they had done until now and also discuss some other key areas to improve. Now, first, we would discuss their first 11 last season and see where they could improve. The goalkeeper position is fine with Alison Becker still the first choice and someone who is still one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Then we come to the back four. Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate to me are one of the best centre back partnerships in the world, and there is no issue with both of them. But on the fullback position is where we need to look at. On the left back position, Andy Robertson is someone who has been one of the best left back in the Premier League for some time, but last season he showed a physical decline. Liverpool conceded a lot of goals from his side, something which was not the case previously, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has left for Real Madrid. The first choice midfield three of Alexis McAllister, Dominic Soboslai, and Ryan Gravenberch is one of the best midfields in the Premier League, but the depth behind them is not adequate. Curtis Jones can do the role of Dominic Soboslai to some extent, but he still needs improving. Wataru Endo can ease in the minutes of Ryan Gravenberch and also help Liverpool in different roles in the midfield. But Harvey Elliott for me does not fit in the midfield, so Liverpool will need to get more depth in this department. The front three of Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz is good, but they need more from the bench. Darwin Núñez has not worked out at Liverpool, and it looks like he will leave this summer, meaning Liverpool will need to replace him. And Federico Chiesa would need consistent game time to regain his confidence, which means a loan move back to Italy is back on the horizon. This means Liverpool need to improve their frontline options this summer. Liverpool has finalized the transfer of Jerome Frimpong from Bayern Leverkusen, effectively filling the gap left by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Frimpong is capable of playing both as a right back and a right winger, which is particularly advantageous as Mo Salah will be departing for AFCON next year. At 24 years old, this Dutch right back will offer strong competition to Conor Bradley for that right back position. Additionally, Liverpool has made what could be considered the most significant signing of this transfer window with the signing of Florian Wirtz from Bayern Leverkusen. He was among the most coveted players, attracting interest from major clubs such as Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid. Ultimately, it is Liverpool that has secured his talents. Florian Wirtz will enhance the creativity within the team. One of the standout aspects of this signing is the additional tactical flexibility it provides. Florian Wirtz can also operate on the left wing, allowing Luis Diaz to assume a position of false nine, Alongside that, he is somebody who can also play as a false nine, meaning Cody Gakpo could shift on the left wing. Furthermore, Florian Wirtz's ability to play in the midfield means Liverpool could also field both Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz at the same time. With Florian Wirtz, Liverpool now has a range of tactical options at their disposal. Moreover, if the reports are accurate, Liverpool is on the verge of finalizing the transfer of Milos Kerkez. He was among the top left backs in the Premier League last year, and with him being quite young, Liverpool could easily get 5 to 6 years of him at his prime at Liverpool. He would be in competition with Andy Robertson for that left back role next season. Last season, Andy Robertson showed a noticeable decline in his performance, and he was not the same player as we had seen in his prior seasons. In his prime, he was regarded as the best left back in the league and one of the finest in the world. However, after several seasons of continuous play in club football and at the international level, his performances have declined. Now, with Atletico Madrid expressing interest in acquiring his services, many Liverpool fans are receptive to the notion of selling Andy Robertson and fully replacing him with Kirkes. I disagree. I believe Liverpool should retain both Milos Kirkes and Andy Robertson at the club for at least one season. I feel this because the footballing calendar is very extensive nowadays and we require depth in that position. I feel with adequate rest, Robertson could rediscover his form and compete with Milos Kerkez for that left back position next year. Liverpool has experienced an exceptional transfer window so far, yet there remain one or two areas that require enhancement. To begin with, I believe that they need to bolster their centre back depth. Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk were both outstanding last season, and when at their best, they form one of the top centre back partnerships globally. But Liverpool's last season were lucky, and this is because neither of them missed any significant number of games last season. However, the team needs a contingency plan in case of injuries, as it was visible during their previous title defense. Injuries to centre backs like Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip, and Joe Gomez, along with Liverpool not signing a sufficient backup after Dejan Lovren left the club, it meant that Liverpool struggled to retain the title that season. And Liverpool would not want to repeat that same mistake this season. Currently, it looks like Gerald Kwanzaa might be leaving and he might be going to Bayern Leverkusen, and Liverpool would be looking to acquire the services of Mark Guehi from Crystal Palace. I fully support this move because despite Gerald Kwanzaa's moment of brilliance, he did not seem ready to compete with Ibrahimo Konate, whereas I feel like Mark Guehi will definitely be pushing Ibrahimo Konate for that starting role. Now, I am slightly uncertain about whether Liverpool should pursue a centre forward or a box to box midfielder. I think this decision largely depends upon how Arne Slot intends to utilize Florian Wirtz. If Florian Wirtz is to operate in the midfield, then I feel targeting a centre forward would be a very good idea for Liverpool. Conversely, if if Florian Wirtz is to be deployed in a more advanced position, Liverpool should consider acquiring a box-to-box midfielder who would help manage the playing time of Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch. Should Liverpool decide to seek a centre forward, a player like Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt would be an excellent choice. There have been reports indicating that Liverpool are interested in Alexander Isak, but to me, it seems very unrealistic. Now, as the title indicates, I believe Liverpool is poised to win the Premier League next season. As the title indicates, I believe Liverpool is poised to win the Premier League next season. They are undoubtedly the favorites for the upcoming season, unless any other clubs make a major surprising move, like Arsenal signing Alexander Isak or the favorites. Many fans seems to underestimate Liverpool's performance last season, attributing their success to the weakness of the other teams, which is partially accurate, but Liverpool finished with 84 points last year and it could have been easily been over 90 if they had not taken a break after match day 34 when the Premier League title was wrapped up. Now, given the demanding nature of footballing calendar, any team would seize the opportunity for a break when possible. Liverpool was already a strong team with some vulnerabilities and they have since made major improvements in several areas. Last season, they relied heavily on Mo Salah for goals, especially in the latter half of the season. Now, with a fully fit Cody Gakpo and Florian Wirtz, they have additional goal scoring options. In midfield, they lacked depth last year, but with the addition of Florian Wirtz, now they have a lot more options. Their defense also appears more robust with the inclusion of Milos Kerkez and Jerome Frimpong. On the other hand, Arsenal haven't made any significant improvements. While they have completed the signing of Martin Zupermendi, Thomas Partey is set to leave this summer, and I believe that Thomas Partey is currently a better player than Martin Zupermendi in that central defensive midfield role, which makes their midfield slightly weaker. Also, they have not improved their attacking options and continue to rely heavily on Martin Odegaard for creativity. Now, regarding Manchester City, yes, they had a phenomenal transfer window with the acquisitions of Ryan Altanuri, Ryan Cherky, and Tijani Reinders. However, I still think they will need some time for these new signings to adapt, and the players are still in work in progress. Now, we will talk about how Liverpool will set up next season. I feel that Liverpool, rather than going to a traditional 4-3-3, would prefer a 4-2-2-2 with two false nine, two wingers, a two-man midfield, and a traditional back four. So, Liverpool will have Florian Wirtz and Luis Diaz playing as false nines, who could also drop in the midfield as well as play as a centre forward. Then we have Cody Gakpo on the left wing, whose main role is going to stretch the opposition defense and drawing the right back wide. Then we have Mo Salah on the right wing, who would have slightly bit more flexibility. He could be very wide, drawing the left back, and he could also slot in as an inside forward with one of the false nines dropping in the midfield. Then there will be a midfield two of Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch, who will control the tempo of the midfield. Then we have a back four of Milos Kerkez, Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahimo Konate, and Conor Bradley. And in the goal, obvious, Alisson Becker. This team is definitely the favorites to win the Premier League next summer. Now, I would want you guys to share your views and ideas about which team do you think are the favorites for the Premier League next summer. And if you guys like the video, then please hit like, subscribe, and share this video to as many people as possible. Thank you.